Hello everybody, and today we are in beautiful Columbus Circle. I don't know if you've ever been here, but it is an amazing area right on the edge of Central Park, and it's a good vibe. I love it especially because it has the mixture of old school architecture, as you can see with the fountain behind me, with also, new age New York consumerism, as we all know. And today we're just gonna have a little bit of fun. We're just gonna walk through Central Park and maybe take a stop or two at a couple different places that I like. I personally love this area because I have a lot of history here. When I first started doing comedy and when I first moved into New York City, I spent a lot of time up here, specifically as a dog walker. I mean, I say I'm a comedian, and I am a comedian. I do get paid to do comedy, but when you're 18 years old and you take a step out for yourself, trying to make things happen, you need to get paid, okay? You need a fucking job, and dog walking was mine. And that's the thing too. If there are any young people watching this, any kids watching this, follow your dreams, but get something with a little bit of money in your pocket. I always romanticize the whole dollar and a dream type shit, and don't get me wrong, you kind of need at least 1 or 2 years of that lifestyle. I think it does help breed some artistry and some real love for the craft of the thing you have. Or the thing that you're interested in, but at the same time, you gotta pay your fucking rent. You gotta pay your fucking rent. So that's one thing you should definitely always remember. But like I said, I have a lot of history here. I was working here as a dog walker for years and years, and this was my area. I worked from basically Hell's Kitchen all the way up to about 96th Street and Central Park Avenue. I think that's what it's called, Central Park Avenue or Central Park West, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. I worked in the rich person area. Even the rich work for the more rich up here. It's a very interesting area of people, but I ended up falling in love with it. There's a lot of really great people up here, and it's kind of this interesting mixture. I feel like the Upper West Side. The Upper West Side is kind of this interesting mixture because, it has a rush of these, sure, there's the hyper rich, and people who have so much fucking money. That's absolutely true. But, back in the 70s when things were a bit more affordable, there was definitely an influx of kind of artsy people and a lot of kind of hippie people. So it's funny when you work up here, especially me as a dog walker, half the people would be almost Logan Roy in Succession, and then the other half would be these kind of hippy dippy, nice kind of old people who just have a rent controlled apartment and are just trying to survive in New York City. And it was kind of this really beautiful thing, and I think that's the type of stuff that makes New York such a fun place. Is that the same thing I love about Boston in a way too. I think a good city needs juxtaposition. It needs the two opposites to come together to make a whole. It needs a yin and a yang. Like with Boston, you have these blue collar people, these kind of old school towny type people, and then you have MIT, you have Harvard, you have all that. New York is kind of similar to that. With New York, you have this, these incredibly rich people, but you also have these kind of fun people who just found an apartment at the right time and they have not moved ever since. And there's something to that. I think there's a kind of a nice magic to that, and that's kind of what the city is all about. New York is all about finding deals, having the right opportunity. Even for me, I just moved back to New York. I was living in New Jersey. I think I said that in my last video. And I was living in New Jersey, commuting to work all the fucking time. It was a lot. And one of my friends just had somebody leave his place and needed somebody for the first. And I talked to him about it, and he was like, honestly, dude, if you want, you can even move in sooner. And, I went from, I hope I find a place in a couple months, to I'm moving back to New York in 2 or 3 days. I think New York is kind of known for that type of stuff. So it's always fun to see, that happen for yourself and for plenty of other people. It seems like they're doing a lot of work here. The New York City Marathon was just a couple days ago, so I think they're finally breaking everything down, you know. And, you know, I kind of wanted to give that a shot. I wanted to go check things out and kind of do the man on the street stuff. But like I told you, I just moved into my spot. You know, I need a little bit of time. I need a little bit of time to do some stuff, you know. And that's another thing too for all the young kids who might be watching this. Don't forget to prioritize yourself a little bit. And you can't do everything at once. You know, there's a bunch of times where I failed when I easily should have succeeded. And that was because I took a bunch of stuff that I easily should have succeeded at and tried to do them at one time, rather than giving things a shot, you know, and really settling down and focusing on one thing and doing it to the best of my abilities. I decided to do 6 different things and do each one kind of sloppily. And that's one thing I've learned a lot in my life is, you know, even if there's a million things you can kill it at, take your time. Do each one step at a time. The world will be there. The world will be there. And I think you can get kind of anxious in life, and especially if you're doing something like entertainment, like music or something, you're always thinking that the clock is running out, especially age-wise, you know, and even like inspiration-wise. So you're always just like, I have to do this now, I have to do this now, I have to do this now. But I swear to God, the amount of benefits you can get from really having a plan and then still attacking everything diligently, showing up on time, you know, getting everything done when you say it's going to be done, thinking things through thoroughly, that makes each time, each baby step that you have kind of really, it all kind of comes together as a larger foundation, you know? Sorry, this stuff is really loud and distracting. Look at this shit. Look at what they're doing over here. I swear to God, New York Marathon used to just be a bunch of white people running. Now it's become Woodstock, you know? It's become rolling loud. You know, it's so funny to see how these things rise in popularity over time. And I think especially because of social media. Everybody wants to be a part of something. I mean, you know, New York Marathon's always been immensely popular. I can't sit around and lie about that. It's always been a very, very popular spot, and people have always wanted to do it. People from all around the world have wanted to do the New York Marathon, but I think once you have stuff like Instagram and YouTube and all that, it's like somebody sees it and they're like, I want to make a video about that, or I want to challenge myself. You know, maybe they're like 300 pounds and they're just like, one day I'm going to run the New York Marathon. And they do, all because they saw some random, you know, IG post about one of their friends doing like a Tough Mudder, and they're like, oh, he thinks he's better than me. He's not fucking better than me. Or maybe that's just a classic American ideal. Or maybe that's just a New Jersey ideal. I mean, you know, I feel like most of the things I do are out of spite. Just to be like, you thought I couldn't do it? Well, I can, and I don't even give a shit about it. I don't even give a fuck. Back to my normal life. My gimbal is giving me troubles again. I don't know whether or not it's just a shoddy gimbal, or if it's the fact that I have my lavalier mic plugged into it, because this isn't wireless. So I'm thinking maybe it's throwing off the equilibrium of it. So if you see any cuts in this one as well, that's why, because randomly the camera just dips down and I have to reset and do everything. You know, but we're still having a good time. I'm trying to keep this one rather quick, actually, because the sun's going down and I need that natural light, baby. Look at it come down on me on this beautiful chocolate skin. I need it. And also, I don't have any floodlights. I don't have any LEDs or anything. And I have a bunch of ideas for a bunch of more videos that I'm going to be putting out, and, you know, a bunch of more places that I want to go to. But please, guys, put in the comments where you might want me to go next, because the whole thing is I'm trying to find picturesque places all around New York City that, you know, that people want me to check out. I mean, I want stuff with some sort of personal resonance. That's why I brought you guys here. I mean, you know, I wanted a place that has always meant something to me. And Central Park has always meant something to me. I mean, whether it's walking dogs, whether it's going on cheap dates out here, because Lord knows I've done that. If there's any young guys, once again, you're looking for a cheap date, go into Central Park, you know what I mean? Hey, all you need is a girl to come with you, you know, a couple of cool sites to stop at, a one-hitter, and maybe enough money for a hot dog or two, you know? You got a $20 date right there, maybe even less, honestly. And there's so much to see here. I mean, you know, in the summer, there's the Shakespeare in the Park stuff as well, which is nice. I think I literally just kicked over some horse shit. This place, beautiful park, but it's fucking filthy half the time too, I swear to God. You know, they have horses, cops are on horses out here, so they just take dumps everywhere. It's fucking nasty. But like I said, in New York, there's a million different sights to see. Like right now, we're kind of going under a nice little bungalow here. It looks pretty nice. Yeah, it's on some Peter Pan shit with the sticks and leaves. Very nice. And then we're gonna cross over here, across the street, to a very special place, a very beautiful place that I think every New Yorker has gone to at least once, and quite a few tourists hang out at as well. It's called Strawberry Fields, and this place is known as a memorial for John Lennon, basically. If you guys know John Lennon, he is one of the main members of the Beatles, and he was actually killed, or if you love him enough, assassinated, less than a block right across the street, outside of that building over there. We're gonna walk by there as well too, but as you can see, there's plenty of people hanging over here and showing their respects and stuff, and it's just a beautiful spot, you know, for people to show respect, show love, and you know, it's just a place to hang out too, most of all, you know, and that's really what Central Park is about, hanging out, most of all for free. I love the fact that this is still a place where people can exist in New York for free, because as we know, you know, gentrification and just the, you know, ridiculous real estate issues that New York is having right now, more and more people are getting priced out, and even people who make money. It's not just about this like kill the rich, like, oh, you know, a bunch of hipsters trying to be dicks and everything. I mean, it is that, you know, and I'm one of those dicks. I want $500 rent. But listen, it's real, dude. It's people can barely have families out here. It's gotten to the point where for a lot of people, you know, if you want to have a family, you need to be making like $300K to like live in a even slightly desirable area and not have to worry about money every week. You know, $300K or maybe even $200 to $250. You know, and it's just wild. It's wild, and it's unfortunate, because I think when you do that, you lose so much of New York's spirit in it. But yeah, you see, there's a guy over there with his guitar, kind of putting on a bit of a show. And yeah, this is all kind of what the spirit of Central Park is, and honestly, the spirit of parks in New York's in general. I mean, that is one thing. I've traveled quite a bit for stand-up and just a vacation, because I think it's good to get out. And you know, tons of places have parks, but there's something about the spirit of parks in New York that to me is just kind of unmatched. I mean, the only place that I think kind of compares is Madrid. They have some beautiful parks and just so many things going on in them, but I feel like a lot of places, they just put a couple trees, a few slides for the kids, and then, you know, bench or two, and just say fuck it. And I think there's so much more that you know, we can all experience from spending time with each other, you know, under the trees, under the greenery, and enjoying life for 1 second without a price tag on it. You know, sorry if I keep talking too much about money. I'm poor. Which brings me to the next thing. If you guys like any of these videos, please make sure to donate through Cash App, Venmo, Zelle. I don't give a shit. Actually, not Zelle, because you need my email or phone number. We're not doing that. But yeah, check things out. And like I said, this is the place that Strawberry Fields is memorializing. This is where John Lennon was killed. I can't really go in right now, but if you see through the gate, basically he came outside and somebody asked if he was John Lennon. He said yes, and that man shot him. I believe, I won't say it for YouTube, but he unalived him, and it was a very, very tragic thing. A lot of kids I know, don't really listen to the Beatles. They make fun of it now. But the reason you're making fun of it is because it's such a staple of music. And once you get older, you'll realize the true impact it has had on all music. People make fun of the Beatles, but a lot of people don't realize their real influence, their true influence. It's easy to say that something that people like is stupid. I guess some of the praise for them, maybe is, and all that stuff. You can have the conversations of like, who did they steal from, Muddy Waters and all that stuff. You can have that, but they contributed many, many things to music in their own right as musicians too. And honestly, I mean, they're kind of, the fathers of so many different types of rock and roll, and even so many different types of songwriting as well. So if you're ever in New York City, make sure to stop by Strawberry Fields and stop outside of the building, because tons of people still leave stuff out there and everything, and it's just a beautiful sight to kind of take in and enjoy, or maybe not enjoy, but think deeply at. But anyway, guys, this is the end of the trip. We're at Malachy's, one of my favorite Irish pubs. Right here around Columbus Circle in the Upper West Side. Places like this are kind of no longer around. They've all been, chased out of here by Lululemon and all that random crap. There's a Subway over here, a Chipotle over there, and no place for people to really enjoy themselves, real neighborhood people, for a decent price. So please stop by Malachy's if you can. Help keep it open, help keep it alive. And I'm gonna have a drink and see you guys later. Peace.